My lords, members of the House of Commons, His Majesty Ralph I, by the grace of God, King of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, head of the Commonwealth, defender of the faith.
Please be seated. My lords and members of the House of Commons, I know it's unusual for a king to address Parliament, but I have some things to say, and I want to say them firsthand. As you all know, I've made some terrible mistakes lately, mistakes which have shamed England and cost its workers some badly needed jobs. I have no excuse for my actions. I know I can't undo what's been done. I can only try to make up for it in some way. With that in mind, I placed a call last night to King Malamban of Zambezi. I'm happy to be able to announce that Zambezi will begin full production of Africa's first car by the end of the year, and in a deal worked out with Prime Minister Hale, all of the engines will be built right here in England. The plan calls for the opening of 3 new manufacturing and assembly plants in the Northeast. In addition, Zambezi wants to buy £200 million worth of English heavy equipment to help in the mining of their vast national resources. As happy as I am about all this, it doesn't make up for my shortcomings as a king. I have done my best to learn the ways of royalty, to try to be the kind of king you could be proud of. But I'm afraid my best will never be good enough. Too often my personal instincts conflict with my royal obligations. For that reason, I have decided to give up my throne. But before I go, there are some things I want to set straight. Ever since I became king, a certain member of this house has worked hard to discredit me, hoping that his family would return to the throne. The so-called scandalous photographs you've heard about were taken and delivered to the King of Finland by a man working for Lord Percival Graves.
This is an outrage, a vile piece of slander. I demand to know the source of these accusations.
We have the confession of a royal page, Gordon Hallowell, who worked with Lord Graves.
I know no such man.
And several checks made out to the photographer who took the pictures, signed by Lord Graves, whose fingerprints were also on the photographs.
So I saw them at the door.
Scotland Yard found the negatives in his house this morning.
By what right can you order my arrest?
By the Treason Act of 1702, forbidding interference with the proper succession of a monarch, enacted by Charlie James again. William III.
That's right, streamer. Wanker.
I didn't bring this out to try to defend my behavior, but when I embarrassed England, it was unintentional. Graves did it deliberately. Well, this is kind of where my notes run out. I guess I'll have to wing it from here. I just want to say that when I first came here, I hardly knew where England was. But over the last couple of months, something has changed. I'll always consider myself an American, but I've come to feel like I'm English, too. I now realize how important a king can be to his people if he's the right man. And I also know that I'm too set in my ways to ever be that man. As an Englishman, I want all of us to have the kind of king we deserve. For that reason, tomorrow, I'm turning over the throne to Cedric Charles Willingham. Who you'll be glad to know is also a Wyndham and a better, more qualified man than any nation could hope for. And so, to him I pledge my allegiance. Long live Cedric I, by the grace of God, King of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, head of the Commonwealth, defender of the faith. God save the King.